Hello, hello. It's Prince Easy, and as per usual, have some things to talk about, right? So, let's get to it. Well, it's nice to see some old technology that was discontinued due to petty reasons, really, right? Because when they see this, they always got to bring up that Nuremberg incident, right? And if we apply that logic to everything else, yeah, we shouldn't be driving nor flying. So, yeah. You're not winning over there, huh? So you wanna, they're just showing who they are, really, right? Right? Now to those fighting vehemently. I'll tell you the key to what people call, quote unquote, global peace. Yeah, quotation on that global part. Right, peace on earth. So they're further escalating, right, in fear of using those weapons, because they know when they do it, game over. So they gotta throw men to buy time while they continue to kill and plunder in the name of God, so they say. The deception runs deep, ladies and gentlemen. Runs deep. So, this is the time to unlock South Africa. Well, there's something about this incident here that was brought to my attention, meaning that this whole situation, this whole incident had severe spiritual repercussions for the country. The country was never the same after this situation. So, I'll tell you exactly what I told Uganda. Make peace with this whole situation. And then we can start doing the real work. Okay? So this is what has been holding your country hostage. So, so we have, me at least, I can say that I've heard the interview, the guy on the left, right? Seen the interview, and basically, for those who are not aware, right, as we have known that there's been an effort to destabilize the Sahel, to advance their plan to destroy the beloved of God, right? And the people that are behind this attack are the people that have stolen our identity. And this sin that they established paved way to what is happening to the world right now. Okay? Paved the way to what is happening to the world right now. Right? None of this that we are experiencing today, to the scale that we are experiencing it, it all began with Africa. The world wars were fought over Africa. Right? They needed economic, political, and spiritual justification to put us into captivity. They basically just turned into a business, right? They used the church to get a go ahead, right? Because if the entire world knows that, yo, these Negroes, they are the true Jewish Israelite people. And if we read the scripture, we made a horrible mistake going over there. And who is behind this whole ordeal? Because that was the last straw, right? Economics was justified, politics was justified, yes? Politics, they said, these Negroes are just savages and backwards, right? Economically, we had so much resources that we didn't really need. So they had every reason in order to save themselves to do what they did. And what was holding them back was the spiritual aspect. So they are a major player, this nation we call Israel. It's a major player in what is happening to the world right now. It's a major, major player. Leaving aside what they did over there in Germany in those times, and what the man with the mustache did to counter their moves, and what that led to. But it's not these people's fault. Some of them are deep, deep into their cult, and they're deceiving everybody else. And the world has been silent all this time. The Arabs know this, that when they reach there, they found black people. They rather not talk about it because they know what they did. Right? In this scramble to eat the life out of Africa, the Arabs were there, the Asians were there, the Europeans were there. Nobody is safe. And if you want to solve this situation here, if you want to create world peace, there is no world peace without African being in peace. There is nothing like that. Nothing like that can ever happen. That the rest of the world enjoys peace while Africa, they just keep dying. Eh? Believe me, you. And whatever fraudulent peace that you will make up, that will lead to your sudden destruction. Right? These empires that we are fighting today, right? They have a hold in the entertainment system, they have a hold in the financial system, they have a hold in technology. This would never, ever be possible without the oppression of Africa. And none of you are speaking about it. You don't want to open that closet while I'm taking it there. So we say that we are people of faith. We believe that there is a God out there, the majority of us. So you're telling me that this sin is just forgotten? This sin has just come to pass? There is no recompense of any type? Well, the Bible And the scripture basically done warned you, do not touch black people. Don't touch them. But you went ahead and did. You went ahead and kept on doing it up to today. And you want to have a conversation about world peace. This all began with Africa. You fought the First World War because of Africa, all of you. And you called in Africans to die for you without any compensation, may I add. The Second World War, the same thing. Why do you think the Third World War is something different? Why is that? Right? While we were in school, you know what we were taught? They say that the reasons that the Europeans wanted to dominate, or the nations basically wanted to dominate Africa, is because some of them reached a level of production like the level China is right now, right? And they need access to markets. So it's a struggle to hold up their own economy. But that expense is being paid by Africa up to now. Up to now. We have been advocates for even Palestine. Black people have been the loudest. Here in Tanzania, we have a whole big banner in a major intersection quoting Mandela, which says that there is no end to colonialism until Palestine is. But we do not get that reciprocation, and we have seen this hypocrisy over and over. But when we come together, something else, right? I am proud of the speeches that these African people came out here and gave. They stood on business. They were never selfish nor individualists. The Arabs, we all know what they came there to do. Right? We all know this might as well be the last UN meeting. Right? The guy from Jordan, the guy from Lebanon, they say, no, we are not gonna, it's not acceptable for us to leave our children in the state that the relationship that these nations are in right now. Here in Africa, it's the same thing. We have this president, this Jewish president, bothering us. This is just a fact. So let me tell you the story, right? So in this effort to destabilize, one of the operations that was run or was being planned involved politicians, military men, mercenaries. I wouldn't call them Islamic State or anything like that. They're just mercenaries, and that's just their cover. Right? Witches and occult rituals, right? Ample proof of West financing, right? And throw in there for good measure UN personnel. We have the locals also being involved in this whole situation. We even have a journalist in there. In my opinion, as long as they can keep these criminals ill-informed, they can be used. Just compartmentalize compartmentalize everything, the whole operation. So they tell this group just riot, this group burn a school, this group kidnap some people. They do not know really because really nobody wants war. War is just a means for them to get what they want. And they're not going to get what they want if everybody's up in arms. It's not about minerals. It's not about the resources that we have that these people want now. No. We have seen how they treat black people. We show them all the love like the true people of God we are. And all we get in return, death. And the nations need to wake up, even Israel also. And as long as this lie continues, these people can continue doing whatever they're doing. And for the larger picture, this whole space deception that you keep under wraps, you space exploring nations, talking to China, Russia, all of you who want to do right. Yes, it will destroy you also. It will backfire on you because you perpetrated the deception. And there's no fixing a wrong without any consequences. Such a thing does not exist. But it will be the end of that. It will be the end of that lie. That lie, look at what it has grown to. Is it now a better situation? Look what that lie has given birth to. Let's examine that. Now we believe they are aliens. Millions of people believe that there are aliens out there. And they are going to come one day. Lies have consequences. No matter how justified you felt when telling it. It has consequences. That's why the devil, we call him the father of lies. There's a reason for that. It's the mode of their whole operation. Right? It's the mode of their whole operation. Right? Through deception, they win wars, so they say. So you will see with your eyes that war shifting to Africa, slowly and meticulously. It has already started. With Egypt declaring war on Ethiopia and all of that. What do you think will happen when these two nations go to war? What will happen to that entire region? And the sponsors are the same. The sponsors of chaos are the same. And I've heard on the down low that they want to build these abominable things in Africa. And now there's a group out there, I've forgotten the whole project, the name of the project, but they want to build a collider, and they have given their reason, I don't know, to study materials at a tiny, I don't know what they call it, to the tiniest level they could. And they're running around and trying to run a fundraiser and all of that. It's just a scam. So they could siphon money and use it for evil, use it for dark ops, to destabilize nations, to start wars and all of that. Where do you think they get the funding from? It has to be from the system, because they are using people, regular people. That's the thing we talked about. So this incident here is a fine example of their handiwork. And we will capture your network in Tanzania. Believe me, you. No matter how much you do a cleanup, you'll be caught, just like in the Sahel, just like in Congo. You'll be caught, your entire network of your operatives of death trying to destabilize this nation. You'll be caught and you'll be dealt with. May their souls rest in peace. Just like what they wanted to do in the Sahel, now they are causing another war. Fighting Russia. Well, today I've given you the keys to end all of this nonsense. Two things: the space deception and the lie of the identity of the true Israelites. That's what they are riding on. That's the end of the plan. These are the results that we have to deal with. And this is specifically orchestrated for Africans. It's evolving under the radar, under whose supervision? And what do you mean evolve? What causes it to evolve? There's no resistance. Why is it evolving? Yeah, those are birds looking at you. To add salt to injury, now they add on top of it that cow fats are causing global warming. And you people go to these meetings and take these people seriously. The devil is a liar. The devil is a liar. And this is war. You have to take it very, very serious. When they take them out of the diet, there will be a problem. A big problem. And they know it and they want to cause it. And they are determined to do so. Going back to that, simple advice. You see, I'm just a privileged person, to be honest. My eyes are just open to both worlds. The spiritual and the world that we see with our visible eyes. Right? In Nigeria, they call these guys, rituals are real. And people just don't invest in them because they don't work. They are real. The devil is real. And he is after the black people. Why? Because we are the force to change this whole world. We are the only ones that can do it. And from our experiences, our life here in Africa over the past 500, 400 years has put us in a position to see the world very different. So here we are. They don't want to change. They don't want the world to change. No amount of speeches, no meetings can make that possible. So while we have put forward our grievances at the UN, we better start working on our own. And this attack should raise up the alarms all over the Sahel and all those countries. That's why I keep telling you, you can't fight this enemy alone. You just can't. It's not possible. Especially in a congested place like the Sahel. That whole north part of Africa is so congested. It's quite different from here down. Congo, East Africa, there is space. But they did that to sow confusion and division. Right? Some of these plotting to stabilize these countries came from Nigeria. Nigeria itself is facing the same thing. So you have to form a military alliance. You by your own sum. Do not wait for nobody. Take proactive measures now. Send your leaders, send your military men to have a conversation on how we're going to handle these ongoing operations that have been established over there. And together you can deal with them with success. But what's important, the devil is real and powerful. So you need to go in with that mentality. On top of your skills, your military training, your equipment, add God on top of that, just for good measure. It wouldn't hurt, would it? And then go to war. Okay? And you're not fighting alone. The whole of Africa right now is in trouble. The scholars call it Jacob's trouble. Right? We are the descendants of Jacob. And this time is that. Trouble everywhere. Even where you think there's peace, there's always somebody trying to start something. Right? Can you believe that in the Congo, these opposition politicians are calling for a nationwide protest? In the middle of a war. And you're telling me that people are serious? In the middle of a war, they are calling for a nationwide protest. Because some of them were arrested. I understand. But is it the time? You see? So whatever action, they don't know what they're doing, but in turn, it's leveraging, it's giving leverage to the enemy. It's a distraction. And people are participating. And now you leaders, I am the truth, through and through. Now you leaders, you claim you need to be wise while giving out this information so as to not cause mass panic and this and that. Believe me, these things are in the back of people's heads. They're in the people's minds, all of these things. But they need to know that they're true. And the more you keep on keeping quiet, the more that you create mistrust. If I were you, I would say, yo, look, we are at war. We might be say everything is fine, but there is a conglomerate out there trying to destabilize this country. Here's the proof. Here and this and this and this. So what do? You gotta get everybody involved. Everybody playing their part, looking out. That's why I said I want to put people together. So I hope I come through on that. I hope I'm being understood. So I'm just looking for action, right? Let us not want things from our enemies and expecting them to give them to us. We should be acting on our own, starting our own mission, doing trade on our own. We would not be in here having hunger in certain places and this and that. This just shows that Israel has not waken up yet. They're still asleep. They don't know that they are one peoples. They just say that in stages. They just say that in world stages, but they do not really believe it. If they did, then they would be acting upon it. That's just the truth, I'm telling you. Africa needs one single army. All of the men in the army make one army. Do you think somebody's going to bring a problem in Africa? Are you serious? And we are wondering why these people are not going to support that endeavor. We are wondering why they do not take us into consideration. Our safety is not important to these people, that they have to stand in the way and give us nonsense privileges. Give us. That's the problem. We know these people owe us, and we're not going to ask anymore, because us asking is literally lessening their suffering that is coming as recompense. So we need to handle our own business. All of these nations, one single army. We'll clean up everywhere that there's a problem. You would have the biggest navy, the biggest air force, the biggest land force infantry. And this is not for the effort of going after anybody. We want to be left alone. You want to be gay over there. Free will and all. But don't be gay over here. We're going to put you in prison. And that has been made clear. And what are the consequences of that? This just simple ideology. We have financial troubles just because we don't want to be homosexuals. And you want to put these irrational people in the table. If that concept alone caused conflict, what do you think this bigger thing, their exploitation of Africa ending? Africa trading with one currency. They cannot have that. That is literally a nightmare, brothers and sisters. That is a literal definition of a nightmare. Not that there won't be no prosperity for the rest of the world. There will be, extremely. But this is about power. And the power is, they simply say who has it and who doesn't. And if they have this power, then they feel justified to do anything. So you cannot be having conversation with such people who have that line of thinking. This is not the first time that we talked about them targeting cows with diseases and political agendas, right? You remember that video I made about cow muzzles, right? To curb carbon emission. They created muzzles for cows. You remember those? And we still want to entertain these people. Maybe I'm not being understood. More people need to die. Then we can have a conversation, perhaps. Maybe. It's God's plan that you remain ignorant. Who am I to stand in the way when He want to punish you? Right? Who am I? Right? I'm just out here carrying out my purpose. I came here for Africa. Full stop. Because I know, and God knows, when Africa is settled, the rest of the world is settled. The power dynamics now are off, extremely off. So war will continue to escalate like this. And they want a thermal war. They've been talking about it. That's why they act with impunity, just bombing everybody, everywhere, indiscriminately, without fear of any repercussion. That's not the type of world. These are not the people of God that act like this. This is a joke. If that's the case, I do not want to worship that God. But that's not the case. Right? Look at this. They are cooking war. They are cooking war. There is no tactical advantage whatsoever for them attacking this man. He's just another Jew with his hair tucked behind his ears. Trump is just another Jew. Now look at what they are cooking. Their people did it, but they are spinning the story, trying to blame somebody else. They're talking about, I don't know, he's being briefed. On real and specific. So they have actionable intel that Iran has planned to assassinate a candidate, a president's candidate. Yeah? And that they will try again. They have this proof. And you're telling me that this guy will stop the war? Are you kidding me, bro? He's a Jew. A fake one, that is. So now they can feel justified to attack. They can have the whole people who are backing Trump, they are whole now attacking Iran. Look at what you did. And you have planning to keep doing it. Now the Americans, now they feel like, okay, now we need to go to help Israel now, because now this guy has become both of our enemies and they have to get rid of Iran. We know why. So he is part responsible for this. He is in the middle of this. He was in the middle of the pandemic that we are still recovering up to today. And he is in the middle of this war also. You remember the Golan Heights? He's deep into this. And that Golan Heights was a provocation, because it basically just meant that they could keep on expanding and expanding and expanding. What would that leave the Palestinians to do? They have to go to war. They have no other option. They want to harvest blood. So me, my intention is to reduce this damage. But as long as things continue going the way they are going, nations just keeping to themselves and not uniting in any form, any type of, we have been talking about this, we have given the fancy terms like Pan-Africanism and blah, 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 blah. People are going to continue to die. And I'm going to protect who I'm going to be able to protect. I can't say less. If you don't want it, you don't want it. Right? Just go, don't force nobody. Right? So I have to take that. I have to take that. I say, okay, God had done told these people, trouble is coming. They need to band together. There's ample evidence to show that there are no multiple conflicts in Africa. There's just one single conflict perpetuated by a single group of people. Now look at this. They bite and they heal at the same time. They know that Cairo is in deep conflict with the nation of Israel. Why is he now arming these people with stingers? Why? If it's not in preparation to go to war with Ethiopia. Why? That's their deal. Because it will be counterproductive to give stinger missiles to the enemy of Israel at the same time sending troops on ground. It's a contradictory move. Right? It's a contradictory move. That's why I keep insisting, you niggas need to come together. Oh ho. Okay? I'm just saying. I'm war. I am war. At the end of this, the image that was seen was me with blood everywhere. Because we try to be nice, they are rude. We tried. We did our best. President after president, leader after leader, conflict after conflict. We tried. But here they are, using the cover of MONUSCO in the Central Republic. What was it? A general or what? I don't know what, but he was a high-ranking officer. He's here coordinating the demise of the Sahel. Deep involvement. They have a whole plan laid out. They want to first terrorize and then attack. Facilities for the people. Step by step. Escalation after escalation. Slowly increasing. Producing mistrust between brother and brother, sister and brother, as they have in many levels. We have talked about this division, right? So we shouldn't find that their technique is working, because people have not yet woken up to the reality of the situation and what is surrounding them really. So I need a coordinated army. Right now, everybody's fighting their own wars. I've not seen those who are asleep wake up and take things very serious for what they are. They're still politicizing and stuff. the Chaneka Kasungula, he gave this very interesting opinion. He said the only time politicians agree fully with each other is when that matters concern them. Right? But they usually disagree when it comes to them choosing who is going to save the people. They never agree on that. So a person might bring a good proposal to the table, but since they see that that will give, we have talked about this, right? Since they see that will give success to the person that they are trying to replace in the leadership, so this leadership struggle is the beginning and the end of it all. That's why God says He's going to tear down every system that is left. You cannot sustain it because they will weaponize it. You can't have democracy without multipartyism, and you can't have multipartyism without them having a party in there involved. Because there's always a victim. In elections, there's always a loser. And they always side with the loser. Because the loser has following. That's why he was eligible in the first place, ain't it? So it's division. It's not okay. What keeps happening after every 5 years everywhere. It's not okay. It's not justified neither. For us to keep sacrificing to this system that does not help us at all at this particular time. I could say that in public, but you have to be nice about it. So you say. You can't come out and say, okay, we need to focus. We're fighting a war. So we're going to hold the elections until everything is tight. We can be sure that people will not be manipulated. There will be no war. People won't die because of this politics. That's just the reality. Maybe you'll wake up later to it, but Israel has never been run like that. Ever. God chose people to lead and equip them to lead. Full stop. So if you don't listen, you'll be lost. It's a thin line that we are walking right now. You'll be lost. Who am I? Yeah. You want to find out, you'll find out. Why do I talk with such authority? Eh? I'm just saying, brothers and sisters, I'm just saying, I'm not an activist. I am the business. I am the business. Okay? And these people want to kill you, and I cannot let that happen. It will be a failure on my part. Okay? I cannot let that happen. They cannot be finishing off niggers. This world needs niggers. Where would this world be without niggers? You tell me that. We'll be quite dead. And mute. That's what I would say. So here they are, right? So, keeps going on and on and on and on. Eh? How about extending capacity? How about the government investing in your extension of capacity? And why there is no honesty, that there is a effort to sabotage you and your effort. Hmm? They're not subsidizing to boost or to hinder the naira. No, they're doing that to help people, and that needs to think and needs to sink in people's heads. If you don't help people, you serve no purpose. If you're not helping me, you will lose your relevance. Quick. I may not lie to you. Because if I'm not looking out for your interests, the devil is just going to destroy everything. It's not that hard, believe me. It has been done before. They have it down to a protocol. How to destroy refinery. Private owned, government owned, a partnership owned. They have criteria and everything. And they have started that operation. Right, I was watching a documentary on Vice. They went deep into Nigeria, like deep in the forest, you know, and there were just oil everywhere. You know, these guys, they could be lit on fire at any minute. They were just there with their guns, you know, they're talking about, yeah, the people that are stealing, and the guy showed literally a pipe going from a well deep in the ocean, going to the ocean, yeah? Deep inside the land. They were taking oil from deep inside there, and they were sending out to the shore, then they were picking it up, I don't know where. So why would you think they would want peace at that particular area? You want their whole free oil to end? They will throw everything at you to keep you from seeing that. So I want you to talk about the real problem. The impact of your business, because you keep insisting that this is a business. Do you even equate, do you ever even think at one moment about the consequences of your decisions? People don't usually think. And we are over here just saying God is unjust, we know we are not thinking clearly, even us. There's something wrong with us. We are not thinking clearly, nor critically. We are destroying our own self. This is the good thing that happened over there. You have opened a refinery at a very, it is needed. But you cannot satisfy the needs of the whole country. That's the truth. You know, I've seen the statistics. It's the same thing with the sugar here in Tanzania. We had the same problem, right? They are internal manufacturers. What they are producing cannot feed the entirety of the market, and yet they are resistant to importation. That does not make sense. You have to be out of your mind to keep thinking like this. You have to be. Oh, we will suffer losses when you import cheaper and sugar than the one we are selling, and we this and that. No. We will not make human life business. That is not okay, nor it is appropriate under any circumstance. You can't make human life a business. Now, I don't know what you are thinking about. I don't know how much money you want in your bank account. I don't know. How much does anybody want in their bank account? It's never enough. So why do you pursue your own shadow? That's the question I'm asking. Why are you pursuing your own shadow? Nigeria. formative. So I can say, highly informative. This is what you call an identity crisis. So this is black alternative fashion. This is just goth for black people. This is just a meme I wanted to insert there for those who understand. Right? This is the confusion among our people. Look at them. Their brothers who was put on a cross is just a joke to them, I guess. Africa. Oh. Need to wake up, yo. I'm not afraid of the future, brothers and sisters. I'm going to go with those who are prepared, and we are going to get the job done. The question is, do you want to join or be against us? Because there's no neutral ground here. Tanzania is committed, Uganda is committed. I have seen them over a long period of time. They have sustained the momentum. They are doing a good job. Even though people might be blind, but they are alive and safe. Because if they didn't do what I say, we wouldn't be having this conversation here. Right? And I thank God that somehow I reached these people. Right? And I hope they are thankful that I was put here for this time. So here we are, doing something about our situation, not complaining and doing all of that. Right? Here I am, being nice, helping the nations and Israel in the same video. So yeah, Prince Easy saying out. I wanna make it long. Bye.